Welcome, guys. It's me, Gommo, and Andrew. If you can hear us, we're actually in the car. Hello, I'm driving back from BelCon.
Yeah.
My first Warhammer tournament, Old World tournament. Your second. Excuse us, I'm driving and I have had a cold, so I'm probably going to cough and sniffle. But it is what it is.
Yeah. Try and navigate through all these trucks.
Yeah, and there's trucks. I don't even know how loud this is going to be in terms of background noise and stuff.
I'm sure it's good.
Bonus episode though. It's just audio only.
Yeah.
So if you're watching on YouTube, it's probably just pictures or something. This is just us. Anyway, we just wanted to have a bit of a chat about. I just wanted to have a chat about my experience in BelCon and first tournament for Old World, and obviously we'll go through it more in depth on the podcast with Josh. But if you're listening to it, it's basically we just come back from a 2-day 4-game tournament, so 2K.
Right.
So two games yesterday, 2 games today. I took Tomb Kings. Andrew, you took your Dwarves.
Yep.
What did you think about the actual Canberra crew and just the format, I guess?
Yeah, they always seem pretty nice. Like, they seem like they've got a good community down in Canberra.
Yeah, so many events on.
Yeah, it's
coming
crazy.
up and stuff. And, like little stores that are like running tournaments and stuff. So they've got a good, probably try to get back down at some point.
Yeah, like how many ended up, was it 20 odd?
Yeah, there was 20,
start?
but then there was a few pull-outs.
Yeah,
So it probably ended up 16 or something, I think.
Yeah, it was not too bad.
But I like that. And it was,
Yeah.
for my first tournament, not having the rush of the 3-day, I didn't mind that either. Just 2 days. It was, like you said though, it was still, sorry, we've got cops coming up here. It didn't feel that slow anyway. Not much of a break anyway. So
I think, I was trying to remember, I feel like ShireCon might have had like an extra 15 minutes or 20 minutes or something.
Yeah.
That definitely felt a bit more rushed than ShireCon.
I don't even know what the round time was. Was it 2 hours? 2:30 or 2:45?
I think it was 2:30, and then did he give us 15 minutes to like a setup?
Set up and
Yeah.
stuff. And deploy if you wanted to and all that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
maybe. Overall, I mean, we'll probably spoil some things, so if you want to wait till the podcast, you can. But we just thought, I guess...
I'll just listen to both.
Yeah, listen to both, yeah. I mean, I went... do you want to go briefly game for game? Or you want to tell people what we got at the end? What we came overall, or not really? Just wait to the end.
I might just give some hints, maybe not just try and drag it out. Maybe they might have to tune in later on to find out the exact.
For everything, yeah.
Yeah.
What game one yesterday then? I think you and me both got thrown under the bus by the sound of it from Ben.
Yeah, definitely.
So there's a couple of players who weren't very experienced, apparently, or had just come back from Old World, so he didn't want to team them up with some of the better players. And so let's quickly, if people didn't know, this had no comp pretty much.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, just
virtually
the
no
rule
comp.
of 3.
The rule of 3 or something, and 6 for core or something. Maybe was it? I can't remember. But they just wanted to see, and we'd already been hinted at that there was going to be lots of dragons and all that sort of stuff. So anyway.
So it was well known by Ben, obviously, that me and Gommo were 2 extremely good players. Yeah. ETC the last decade, we're taking out world championships. So he thought we're good candidates to throw under the bus. Clearly,
basically, yeah. So you got what's his name?
Dave.
Dave Cochran. Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah.
Was. Yeah. Do you want to quickly just touch on what?
Oh, yeah. Oh, geez. Should I touch the? I could literally touch on it. So he was running quite an aggressive, I'd call it, gun line. It wasn't. It was a hard gun line.
Dwarves though too.
Dwarf off. He was running 2 organs, 2 cannons, 2 units of 3 gyros, and 2 warrior blocks, and a unit rangers, I think. And the anvil. Don't forget the anvil.
Cool.
Yeah. yeah, basically, I forget who won the roll-off or any of that, but yeah, basically, I put my long beards into marching column. I did everything I could to get up. I was running, if people aren't too sure with my list, I'll quickly run through that. I won't go through runes over everything, but I was running basically a bit of a kitted up Lord, so semi-defensive, semi-offensive on shield bearers, McKing, sorry. I was running my Thane BSB on shield bearers as well. Same again, bit defensive, bit offensive. But he had the Stromney banner, so I was basically running like a lot of banners with combat res. I was running 14 Longbeards, 13 Rangers, which were friggin' star of the show. I like the Rangers. And I was running 10 Ironbreakers and 5 units of, what are they? I can't think of them now. Iron Wardens. Sort of yeah.
Or Iron Drakes.
Iron Drakes with the Iron Warden.
Yes, that's right.
And the Trollhammer Torpedo.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I really need to get to know these names. And 3 gyros. So, yeah, and I had a Rune Lord in there as well. So, yeah, it's not too bad. Like, a little bit mobile shooty. / bit of a gun line. If I was going up against like a come at me list, I'd basically sit back and just try and soften them up a bit, and then I had quite a bit of combat offensiveness as well. But anyway, Dave's list was very shooty orientated. Long story short, my gyrocopters just quickly died to his gyrocopters. I was trying to shoot off his gyrocopters with my troll hammers. I got one down to like 1 gyrocopter and maybe like a wound off it. I wasn't able to get rid of that, which is a bit annoying. And then I think I got 1 other gyrocopter. I took out his rangers on the long march up with my rangers. Yeah. Long march up across the board. He sort of sat back in his bit of a shooty formation. He took off all my long beards before I got to him, and I was able to charge in. I think it was like my BSB maybe. And his king had the D6 wound weapon. And he took out my BSB, which was a bit of a shame. That was
our mission too, was banners, breaking them on a...
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, fortitude, like the break point was...
Yeah, it's like the old 8th edition thing a little bit. Yeah.
If
you got it down to 2, you broke them, and the general was worth 2, and banners were worth 1.
Yeah. And then what else happened? Yeah, so my I didn't have my iron breakers in marching column because I didn't have drilled for them. I don't know why. Basically, I only want to drill for my longbeards because they had like great weapons, and they had basically if I wanted to sort of like drill out wider, I wanted something with great weapons, just to give you more combat res. And then I was like, well, I'm not really going to do that with my block of iron breakers. They're just going to sit in little blocks. That's why they went drilled. So I ended up just marching them up normally, and some of them got shot off as well. And basically, I ended up getting into combat. It was so annoying. They had like this... He had his warrior block with his king in it in front of this little tiny forest. And, of course, I always fail.
It was like
charges
slightly bigger than 2 inches. So you couldn't even...
Yeah.
You couldn't even call it a decorative, hey? So it was just... Yeah.
I didn't actually even think about it. I thought it kind of was decorative. But then it sort of... When he said, it's a forest, and I was like, well, we didn't actually say it's not. So for me, I'm like,
you can't sort of go back.
And then, true. And then I was like, no, that's fair enough. Because to me, it looked like a forest. It was just really tiny as well. So I'm like, you could interpret it either way. But basically, we charged into it, and then we ended up looking up the rules. And so when you roll for your charge, it's really weird. Like, so basically, you kind of don't account for the forest, but then when you move, you do. So it's like it's worded a little bit strange. But we ended up getting bent over, and we sort of went through it, and we were like, nah, it kind of does seem like it's definitely heavily leaning towards.
Your distance and stuff is still normal, but you'd have to roll technically higher because you're going to lose a move.
Yeah, because you're going to lose the movement through the forest. And then we're kind of asking about, well, how does that affect your dice roll? Because you're outside of the forest when you're doing it. So anyway, we erred on the side of caution of it wasn't a big deal anyway. I was getting my ass handed to me. So anyway,
but then you're disrupted or something as well, aren't you? Whatever it's called, like no ranks.
Oh, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. I was losing heavily on everything. But yeah, I probably would have been disrupted in there. Although
whichever one.
It might have to be over a certain percentage. Maybe it wasn't over that.
Oh, yeah.
It was only like the corner I was kind of going through, but it was definitely going through it. But anyway, so I failed that charge, and then he had 2 blocks of his warriors, and basically his warriors with his kings went in the front, and he manoeuvred his other warriors, and they got my flank. So yeah, that was that, and yeah, all she wrote, I think I died or I broke and fled, and I don't know how. I had 3 ranges left at the end of the game, and it still wasn't a 20-0. So the point system that they've kind of got that we're using, like you really need to kill everything on the board pretty much to get a 20-0. So I was quite surprised. And he broke me, so he got like an extra 250 points as well. So
you're still 9-1.
No, yeah. So I got the pity point.
1-9.
Yep, I didn't get 28. I got the pity point, and it was a 19-1. But yeah, Dave, great opponent. It was fun to play against. But yeah, I just could not break his gun line at all.
Yeah.
How'd you go?
Yeah, well, I played Chaos Warriors, which is cool.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
that's
played them. And before the tournament back in... so I asked Ben if he can get the list to us so we could do analysis last week.
Yeah.
But they didn't get him early enough. But he goes, if you really want to know and you want to, do up your list for it, there is a Warriors of Chaos army that's all mounted, the big kitted up Chaos Lord, and 3 single Dragon Ogres. And I didn't change the list because I didn't care. I didn't know if I'd face it. But anyway, we find out it was a Friday night. He goes, that's when he said, I put you guys up against there's a couple of newbies, so we wanted to put some of the bigger lists against some other people. Can we put them against you? And I'm like, I don't care. So anyway, I can't remember his last name, but Ben, he's the Warriors of Chaos player. I think he's a pretty good player.
I think he did all right, didn't he?
Yeah, I think he just came second or something.
Yeah.
Or maybe third. Oh no, he beat out the second base guy. Beat him out by a little bit or something. Wasn't it? That or third, I can't remember. Anyway, so he's got the big kitted up Chaos Lord, which I've never even gone near yet. So I didn't even know how much better that dragon was to mine. So I'm Tomb Kings. So I had the normal Tomb King dragon that everyone sees with the re-rollable wound thing, Armor of Ages, Necro Sphinx, a couple of little skeleton archer, like 5 and 10 just for bunkers, 21 Tomb Guard, pretty naked outside of that. But they do have a BSB in there on a chariot with the poison banner.
Nice.
And then it was all these doubles. They had double horse archers, double casket, which is cool, and double scorpion. Anything else? Probably not. Oh, and double individual chariots. Love them. 43 points.
Did you say the Sphinx?
Yeah, the Necro Sphinx.
Yep.
So the idea being, there's at least 6 pieces of chaff there that can move pretty good.
Yeah.
And then 3 optional infantry bunkers for because my Necromancer I didn't take. Hierophant I didn't take the cut flying thing. So I had level 4 on Necromancy, however you say it, and 1 on Elementalism, although most of the time I thought I'd drop to the near Karen Law ones, but so he's just there for a rise and that stuff. And I want the Dragon, the Necro Sphinx to do the heavy killing, and then maybe if it happened, you get the Tomb Guard in there to do some things, but
nice.
I wasn't sure. Spoiler, they don't do a whole lot, so I'll probably change that. But anyway, it is what it is. So I go up against Chaos, and I'm like, and originally I'm like, I've got to play more aggressive, right? But then I get the Chaos list, so I'm like, well, I'm going to play defensive here because this dude's coming out. Yeah. So by the way, they're like big unit of chosen undivided knights, and then 2 units of Khorne Fury, like just normal Chaos Knights.
Yeah.
3 Dragon Ogres, a chariot,
Sorcerer
Lord,
anyway.
and the dude. The Chaos Lord on the dragon. Now, luckily for me, though, the terrain had this bit in the corner of one side which had a house, and then I wouldn't even call them forests. And I noticed it changed over the course of the event, so I think people got annoyed with this. There was a few things where the terrain was like just lots of little things, like you mentioned with the tree.
Yeah.
But it wasn't smaller than 2, and so effectively there's a lot of little unpassable things. And so I thought, cool, if I go behind all that, at least he can't get all the cav in one go. Like, he has to, like...
Did that have the terracotta warrior sort of guys? Was that one as well?
Yes, in the middle.
Yeah,
these terracotta, like, little statues. So
it was a lot
way more, like, terrain than I'm probably comfortable with usually. But when I'm playing defensive, I was like, oh, this is fine. I'll just huddle over here. So, yeah, I mean, turn one, he's just full at me, and then my turn one, I went, and by the way, I had like my infantry blocks in front and my dragon and necrosphinx behind, ready to fly over, to sort of just see what he was doing. I was trying to like be a bit tricky, not tricky, but just want to make sure he didn't get any weird turn one charge on my dragons. Well, I wasn't sure what to do at that point. Anyway, and I was trying to get the caskets up first before he got in there, I did get the caskets both up, and then because of that, I flew my dragon turn one just straight up in the middle as well, in front of his dragon, and just went, well, let's have a dragon off. Let's see what happens. And just had to chaff all his other stuff to slow it down. I mean, long story short, a Tomb King dragon with caskets up most of the game, not all the game, but some of it, against Chaos Lord, takes all game. So they were just beating themselves out, not doing a whole lot. I'll get to that in a minute. The rest of his army obviously was chewing through my chaff, and I think the biggest mistake I made was I wanted to be aggressive, and I thought I was being aggressive, but I really wasn't. I tried to charge his chariot with my necrosphinx, but because I'm behind my tomb guard, it's a longer charge, and I failed it, and I bumped into the back of my tomb guard, so I didn't get over them. So then in turn 3, I tried it again. Well, he fled, with his chariot. So then I tried to charge a dragon ogre, and I just didn't make it. Like, I just rolled shit. And not even shit. It was a fairly long charge, but, it's doable. And so by turn 4, I decided, fuck this, I just got to fly him out. And then, so he didn't really get into combat till turn 5 and 6. So it was really a waste. And in hindsight, I should have flown him out, even if he got charged. And then, because he can nail a dragon ogre. He was good. He just killed a dragon ogre. But I mean, long story short, one flank he took out a casket and some of my chaff with his knights and stuff. But he ended up having to throw his chosen knights into the dragon combat just to try and get more combat res. Because we were just, there might have been the odd case where he beat me, but most of the time I was just slowly chipping him away. I was healing my guy. Until he got close enough, and then he was really like dispelling my caskets. I never got him up, and then once he got the chosen in by about turn 5, there was 4 rounds of combat where he had extra close order plus a flank. And so that started to eat into mine. And so the other thing that I couldn't heal him because turn 3, he did a nasty pillar of fire. It went through the dragon, didn't do shit to it. But I had my necromancer out of the unit doing something. No. Went over the top of him. He basically rolled 3 hits, strength 3 hits on him. He's tough 4. He rolled all 3 5-ups, so he got 5 wounds. But I've got a 5-up ward, 5-up save, 5-up regen. Failed all of them. My Hierophant died turn 3. So the rest of the game, I had no regen. And was having a test on leadership 10 for my guys, which fine. I didn't crumble anyone, but I had no regen. So that's when my dragon started to leak wounds. But then, so bottom of 6, my turn. He had 1 wound left on his dragon. I got him, killed him, hooped him, but he still beat the combat by 3 because of the hit by the flank or whatever it was. I can't remember. I'm indomitable 2, so I only crumbled 1, but I only had 1 wound left. But my herald's behind, so he's got the banner, right? So I can roll D3, and if I roll a 5 and 6, I'm indomitable 3. He doesn't get my dragon. I rolled a 2. So I died as well. So bottom of 6, both dragons died. I won that. I won the scenario because he didn't have enough. I broke him. But because I didn't get a lot of other stuff, he ended up beating me 12-8. Just because he'd got more of my chaff and I had not knocked a lot of other stuff down. If I'd sent but I mean, crazy, if I didn't Top of 6, I thought I had him because I thought, I don't think he's going to fully kill my dragon. I might get him here.
Yeah.
And that's such a big swing of points, but it went the other way. Well, it sort of didn't get, we both got each other.
Yeah.
But it's a big 400-point loss for me in terms of points and stuff, or 500 in general, and dragon in that last turn. I was like,
Yeah.
Anyway, we probably went from a win to a 12-8 loss, but that's fine. It was a good, really good game. I liked it. And I felt I came out of it going, that is a really good loss.
Still pretty close, yeah. That's good.
At least for me, being the player I am. I liked it,
I take that sometimes. You're just like, you lose, you're like, yeah. Moral victory. Like, it's got like, well, it's not a moral victory, but you're just like, yeah, that's close enough for a win.
So I worked out how to kill the Chaos Dragon. It just takes all game with the Tomb King Dragon.
Team Dragon.
That's all game.
And
some other things like Tomb King caskets and healing your dragon sometimes.
Yeah,
just go. So that's my auto braking because some dude pulled over.
Yeah. Last minute pull.
Anyway, game 2.
All right. So I was against Jono. Jono and his Beastman. Another really nice guy. He's running. Oh, what was he running? He's running a Doombull, kitted up Doombull with. What was he running his Doombull? I think he had the Ogre Blade. But luckily for my general, he doesn't take multi wounds. We'll get into that later. Anyway, basically he was running a Doombull in a unit of 3, 4, 5, maybe 7 odd or 7 or 8 Minos. Yeah. He had 3 Dragon Ogres. He had Gorgon. He had maybe a unit of Gauls and a unit of Ungors, or 2 units of Gauls, or something like that. Some horny beastmen. Anyway, and then he had his level 4 Shaman, which he was running in one of his Gaul units. And so anyway, this one was... there was a terrain feature in the middle, and if you're within 6 inches of that, basically you got to... what'd you do? You re-rolled.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, if you had a wizard there, you basically
re-roll 1s to cast, and you get an MR -1.
It wasn't a huge deal, but at the end, if you basically owned the feature, you got 150 points. So I knew it was going to run straight at me, and I believe this one I was actually on the same. I swapped with Gommo. Yeah, we swapped tables.
Yeah.
I ended up being on this table a few times. So I had all those, statues in the middle, and there was like a huddle of crystals and a few other bits and pieces. So yeah, it was very crowded in the center. So basically, I sat back and I did what Dave did to me, and because with mine I can be a bit of a gun line, try and soften them up, and then I've got pretty combat-y sort of blocks, so I'm like, I'll soften them up and let them get in. But I think the problem with Jono's list is like almost exactly kind of what I kitted mine out to be able to sort of like take out monsters a bit.
Yeah.
So on my left flank, I had 2 units of my Iron Drakes shooting into his Gorgon. I took that off within a couple of turns. I had on my right, I had my Rangers and my other unit of Iron Drakes shooting into his Dragon Ogres, and also I sent up my Gyrocopters. And basically, I took out the Dragon Ogres in a couple of turns as well. Then everything sort of turned around and was sort of like maintaining, just shooting the Minor unit as well, with my Gyrocopter sort of like going out and starting to harass the Gaul units a bit, started to take some wounds off them. Basically, he got down into combat with my General's unit and my Ironbreakers with my King in it. And I had my Longbeards with my Thane in it, and he charged one of his Gore units into my Longbeards, and basically, obviously, the Minos got into my Ironbreakers. So I ended up, he challenged out, I forgot this. He had a Gore Lord or hero level character. He challenged out my Thane. My Thane took a couple of wounds, but I was able to pip his Gore Lord or Champion or whoever it was. But because I think he had Frenzy up in his Gores and 2 hand weapons, he had like 3 attacks. He actually beat my Longbeards and pushed me back. So yeah, I kind of almost wasn't expecting that. So Gore's actually, as we know, quite bloody good. But what that ended up doing, it allowed my, funnily enough, they're actually quite good in combat, these Iron Wardens. Sorry, the Iron Drakes. And I turned one of my Iron Drake units and I was able to charge into him on my turn, which was the next turn. And funnily enough, because I was in his flank, I was able to break him. And the Iron Wardens actually just kept going into combat. And basically what happened is, because I broke him, is to like run back, my Iron Wardens, my Iron Drakes pursued. My Longbeards turned to face his minor unit with that my Ironbreakers and King were in combat with. So I was like trying to support them. I'll get into that Mino combat in a bit, but basically I pushed back his Gore unit with my Iron Drakes out of everything. I can't believe they just kept winning, but they did. And funnily enough, they broke again, and he ran and I was able to actually chase him down. So it was the most random. I wouldn't have thought they would have done so well, but he did fluff. I think it was like one of his attacks. I was just able to get that. Anyway, with the Mino combat, I sort of stuffed up in this. I can't remember any of my shit because it's not like a normal magical item. Obviously, runes. You like put all your runes on your. Anyway, I kind of end up forgetting stuff. So I did forget.
Your -1 to hit.
Yeah, my -1 to hit on my, which is the biggest defensive thing on my King, because my King's only he's only got a 4-up save, like an armor save, and that's it. Like he's not very defensive at all. So I threw this. The other defensive thing he's got is immune to killing blow, and is immune to multi wounds.
Yeah.
But the problem is he can still take quite a few wounds. So I went down the route of, and I might have to look at this, the -1 to hit, but the problem was I kept forgetting about the -1 to hit. So his Doom Bull and my general ended up in this challenge. Long story short, I got his Doom Bull down to 1 wound, but he managed to kill my Lords, the King on Shield Bearers. I think 5, I'm pretty sure, and then I had 6. So yeah, it was. He had like the D3 wound Ogre Blade, but
right.
yeah, luckily.
But
me.
you can't use it.
Yeah. So anyway, I took the rest of his minor unit off, but I just had basically this Doom Bull. So he's taken out my Lord. Next round of combat, I don't even think I fed him my champion because I'm a retard. So I fed him my Rune Lord, and yeah, he died quite convincingly. And then, but yeah, I pretty much killed everything else on the board. That was like literally the only thing left was this bloody Doom Bull
with 1 wound.
With 1 wound, and I got the objective, but it ended up being, what was it? Maybe
14-6? No, 6.
Yeah, 14 or 15 or 16 or one of those.
16-4 maybe.
16-4 maybe, yeah. But he got quite a few. So he got
14-6 because you were on 15.
Oh yeah, that would have been it. 14-16.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, because I mean the King's 300 odd, and then, you know it starts adding up.
Yeah.
So yeah, but anyway, it was a really good game. Jono was like really fun to play against. So I really enjoyed it. How'd you go game 2?
Yes, I played Derek, and I played him before CanCon. I think you played him. Like back in CanCon, he was still getting back in the game, but I think he's played a bit more now. But he's just got orcs, like old school orcs a bit. Yeah, and it's not like I wouldn't call it a massively tournament prepped up army. Like he didn't even have fanatics. He had like a wyvern, but with the ogre blade. So funny. Yep. He had the ogre blade, and I'm like, shit, I'm actually more worried about this guy than I am the Chaos Dragon. It's just because I didn't want to get so many multi wounds at me. And he had like a big orc boar unit, boar riders, which is cool. A boar chariot, level 4 on battle magic with like skirmishing archers in the middle, and then just some other sort of junky stuff. Like, no, well, I wouldn't say junky stuff, I shouldn't say that, but they're like 2 smallerish units of Black Orcs, like, I think 12 and 40. I'm probably wrong here, but, you know, it's not massive, big Black Orcs, but 2 of them.
Yeah.
One had a BSB in it, and I can't remember what else he had, because it probably wasn't that important, really, but I pushed my caskets up a bit because I tried to get them so they could at least reach the middle. But I sort of did a weird refused flank where I sort of had not much on my left facing his magic user and his ball boys except for some chaff, and I had my Necrosphinx and Dragon on the other side because his Wyvern was over there.
Yep.
And I thought, but I'm still going to try and get in combat and see if I can kill this Wyvern, because surely, I'm like, if I could take a Cast Dragon out, I could take a Wyvern out.
I would have thought so, yeah.
But there was a forest over there too, and one of his Black Orc regiments went into the forest. So I was like, I'm going to go. So, long story short, like on the right flank, I went in with Necrosphinx and one of my Scorpions into this Black Orc unit in the forest.
In the forest, yeah.
Because I thought, in one turn, there's like 14 in there. I reckon I could just chop them and get through, and then I'm sort of in the back, and I could sort of try and get to his wizard bunker in the middle. And he'd moved his dragon up, I think. This is unlucky for him. He did, sorry, not his dragon, his Wyvern. He charged, I had a little unit of like 5 skirmishing archers.
Yeah.
He charged it with his Wyvern. And just flubbed his attacks. I felt so bad for him. He flubbed his attacks. Anyway, I think he killed 2. And I rolled a 3 on my, like, this is when I needed it. I rolled like a 5-6 on my Indomitable because my BSB was close enough.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, the other 3 dudes ended up not crumbling. So like this little unit of 5 skirmishing
standing up to the Wyvern.
Basically held up to the Wyvern, which meant, because he was trying to get out, like charge and overrun and get out of my arc of my dragon. And so I went in the flank with my dragon. And that's like turn 2 or something. And then, like turn 2 and 3, I'd still only put 4 wounds on that freaking thing.
Yeah.
I don't think he did much to me. He might have put 1 or 2 on me. What? Like, he wasn't getting his 6 for his own, like, because he had to wound me on a 6, I think, and I'd re-roll it to even get to that multi-wound. So I was holding him up, but, I mean, the frustrating thing about this, because I'm not a huge fast player, and neither is Derek. Like, he'll say it. And so, like, and he started late because he had to go somewhere. So we started like 10 minutes late. And Ben gave us 10 minutes, but I think it just, I don't know. I don't reckon, long story short, we only got to the bottom of 3.
Yeah.
It was a little really frustrating just because I thought the 4th turn, my Necro was already in combat with his Shaman unit, and I reckon I would have eaten that unit. And I'm pretty sure in 2 more combat rounds I would have killed the Wyvern at the rate. Sort of fishy. It was like, I think I could have, but even if I didn't, I would have got the Wyvern. So it was a bit. I think I left a lot of points on the table. Turn 4, which we never got to, which is a little frustrating. And I probably could have stood up a bit more and said, no, I want to play turn 4. Ben probably would have let me, but we sort of just went, or whatever. That's at the end of the day, it's cool.
Yeah.
Like, he's a fun opponent, but I was like, I need to learn to get to those turn 4 and 5s, you know, because it just, I left so many points on the table because I was...
it's hard to get a result out of that. Like, it's sort of, you know, I think you could have any game where you could get, like, you could be down on turn 3, but then by turn 6, it just depends on your positioning and what you get into combat.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously I wasn't playing the game, but yeah, I could definitely, when I saw, because you definitely would have taken that, the unit with his...
I think he had 5 orcs left in the Shaman.
Yeah, the Shaman. I mean, that would have been worth a heap of points just in that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And
it would have won the scenario too.
Yeah.
He won the scenario because that unit was slightly closer.
I was like,
damn it.
Yeah, it makes it hard, doesn't it?
Yeah, in hindsight, I didn't really care, but then later on I was thinking about going, man, I probably should have just said, no, let's play those 4, like, at least that combat unit and see what happens.
Yeah.
But it just shows if you're not, like, prepped up in turn 1 and 2, it can really, like, kick you in the ass later.
Yeah, it can slow things down.
I was conscious of that in the next game, next day, so, like, I was not pushing my opponents because they were pretty good anyway, but I was making sure I wasn't slowing up either.
Yeah.
Just because I didn't want to, like, land on turn 3 again and go, Argh!
Yeah.
Just left stuff on the table, so that was a bit frustrating. So I actually went down 13-7 on that one, so that was just a bit shame because I reckon it was probably close to a tie or, you know. something just because
it's hard to get a true result. Yeah.
Yeah.
Out of that, it's a lot turn 3 finish.
Not to I'm not griping at Derek. It's like we were both having fun. Just like, oh crap, it's like we got 20 minutes left. Shit, we just couldn't get through it quick enough.
Yeah, sometimes you get the time just gets lost.
The other bad thing with that is just I didn't chaff up, or I reckon in hot, because what happened was on my left flank, I tried stopping his boar riders.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But just not enough, and he ended up overrunning into my tomb guard unit, and he wiped him in one go. I was like, oh crap.
Yeah, they seem to go really. They're
way
really
better
tough.
than I thought.
Yeah, those boar boys.
And the furious charge and the amount of attacks.
Yeah.
And I guess we can talk about this. Is why I think my list will change. But in hindsight, I could have pushed that unit, and there might have even been a chance. Like with the chaff I had, I probably could have been, maybe, I'm not saying I would have, but a good player probably would have actually got the charge on the boar boys.
Yeah.
I might have been able to if I'd chaffed them up better and played aggressively with that tomb guard unit. Because then it's a different. I'm not saying they killed all the boar boys, but I think they do a much better job.
Yeah.
Poison attacks, no furious charge.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, you would have reduced it because it still looked like there was a heap of boar boys in there.
Yeah, so here's what it is. But I need to play better on that side, that's for sure. But yeah, so I ended up with 2 losses on the first day, so I was like, oh, damn it.
Derek's fun, but I love playing
him.
Yeah,
no, he's fine. That's the thing. When I knew I was playing him, I was like, and I love orcs. It's good to play an army against an army that you know, because you sort of know what stuff does most of the time.
Yeah. Cool. Should we hit day 2 today?
Yeah, hit day 2 quickly, and then we can also just talk about what might change, I guess.
Yeah. So day 2, first game was with Kieran. He was running Dark Elves. I'm trying to remember what he had. He had a dragon. Nasty dragon. Bloody hive dragon. He's running a lance. Some stuff that I've got no idea. But yeah, it was nasty.
He had Cold One Riders as well.
He did. He had 2 units of Cold One Riders.
Yeah. I saw them on the table.
Yeah, he had 2 units of... you might have to help me out here. Who are the Dark Elf... The Corsairs?
Probably.
The infantry? Yeah, I think they had 2 hand weapons.
Yeah, that'd be them probably, yeah.
You had a repeater bolt thrower. You had repeater... what are they? The bloody... Crossbowmen.
Crossbowmen, yeah.
Yeah, you know them, 10 odd of them crossbowmen.
Yeah. Do you have any Doomfire Warlocks or anything like that?
Nah, he didn't have any of them. But he had a level 4, hag, or I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
The sorceress in there. Oh, and he had an assassin. Yes, sneaky assassin. So yeah, basically, what was this one? Oh yeah, the setup.
Meeting engagement one. Yeah,
movement.
it's like the old meeting engagement. Huh?
You love this one, didn't you?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, love it.
So yeah, it was the
you roll ones to if you don't show up. Yeah, that's that one.
Yeah, so yeah, you're in reserve on a 1, and basically who was it? No, it wasn't the king. It was I rolled a 1 for my Longbeards and I rolled a 1 for my BSB, which worked out perfect because they are in the same unit.
Yeah, cool. That's funny.
So against the dragon, there was terrain. I think I got to pick sides, possibly. And I think I even picked the wrong side. I was thinking about it later. I'm like, I should have just gone the other side. But anyway, I set up a bit farther back because he had a dragon. I'm like, I need to try and pip some shots off, and then also try and get this bloody Longbeard unit on, maybe to support me. So basically, on my right, I had 2 units of the Iron Drakes, and I had my Rangers, and also nearby that I had my Iron Breakers with the King in it. And on my left, I didn't really have a whole lot actually. I just had my Longbeards that sort of came on. Well, they came on in the middle. I'll just let everyone know. I just left a space for them, sort of in the middle. And on my left, all I had was 1 unit of Iron Drakes, funnily enough. And basically, I sort of spread my gyrocopters around just to, get the back line, as you do. Funnily enough, he actually went quite heavy on my right, where I only had 1 unit of the Iron Drakes. So yeah, he put his crossbowmen there. He put one unit of his Cold One Knights, and he had his repeated bolt thrower. I was like, oh, this is actually quite a lot of stuff. And his in reserve, his reserve unit ended up kind of coming in the middle, but more towards maybe that side as well. I was quite surprised how. But anyway, and then on the other side, he had his dragon, his other unit of Corsairs, and unit of Cold One Knights. So basically, he's sort of ran down that flank, obviously straight at my shooting. I did a bunch of shooting. I think I pipped off 1 or 2 wounds. He took out a unit of Iron Drakes. They were able to do their they're stubborn, and then they sort of hung around just for one more turn. And then I was shooting into his bloody Cold One Knights. I didn't realise they had a 2-up save. Actually was not going through his Cold One Knights as much as I thought. I thought I was really going to hammer them.
2-up save's good though, because it just goes to a 4-up even against a great
weapon. No, it is. It's really bloody good. Had some major dramas getting rid of them, because my crossbows, you don't get AP. You basically got to roll a 6 to get your armor bay.
Okay, it's AP one.
Yeah, so it's like armor baying 2, I think it is. It's a bit frustrating for that. And then, like you said, your 2-up's only going to a 4-up. So I think I might have only taken a couple off, and I was shooting quite a bit into him because his dragon was into my Iron Drakes. So basically, he got rid of my Iron Drakes. He ended up getting into the dragon, then went into my unit of Rangers. They used their throwing weapons because it was too close for stand and shoot with anything else. I did 0 wounds on the stand and shoot, funnily enough. He wasn't running he had a 2-up, 5-up, so he wasn't running a regen. I think it was a 2-up, 5-up ward on his dragon. He got into it took, again, it was a couple of turns of combat, so 1 full turn for him to get through them. And then he ended up charging into his dragon and his Cold One Knights into my general's unit.
Was this the dragon? Sorry.
Yeah. What happened there? I was trying to remember. I think his Cold Ones might have got my... his Cold Ones ended up running. I'm trying to remember what happened there. Anyway.
Wow. Was that cold-blooded, or was that a thing anymore? I can't remember.
I can't remember, but basically, his Cold Ones, because I think I had 1 unit of Iron Drakes still there. And then they got in combat as well. But basically, his Cold Ones ran, and his dragon, I got into a challenge with my Lord and just got smoked. So he killed my general. My king, dwarf king, doesn't like to live. He likes to die a lot. He got killed, and basically they took out quite a lot of that stuff on that side. And anyway, funnily enough, on my left, his Cold Ones started running basically straight towards, and I only really had those Iron Drakes. So he marched forward, and I was sort of like shooting him, and then 3 times in a row, he failed his stupidity.
Oh, wow.
3 times in a row. And 3 times in a row, I was shooting at him with my bloody Iron Drakes, and I could not get them. I think I took 1 or 2 off from like 4 rounds of shooting or something stupid. It was ridiculous. But meanwhile, his bloody crossbowmen are and they were shooting through like ruins. So
usually Dark Elf shooting, I don't rate it. It feels like they don't do anything.
They were slowly just taking like 1 off at a time over these 4 turns. So by the end of it, I only had 1. It was funny. I think what did he do? He didn't do it with the crossbows. I think he ended up using the bolt thrower. just to,
Take the final dude out.
Yeah, or something like that. It was funny. I was just like, what is going on here? Because he didn't charge the cold ones in the end. And then, basically the Longbeards got into combats with his, in the center, he had that, his assassin popped out on the right and his Corsairs got in. So there was a big battle. That's what I wasn't, So it was the Dragon and it was the Corsairs were into my unit of Ironbreakers with the king in it.
Yeah.
And his assassin popped out, challenged my king, and we had a little fight off. And assassins, everyone's like, oh, they're good or bad? Yeah, I don't think they're that good. He did take a couple of wounds off my king, or a wound, or give him that, but my king is a little bit squishy. But I took his assassin out, and so that was that. Sorry, I forgot to mention
And then
that.
the dragon started fighting.
Yeah, then the dragon went in as well. Yeah. So it was a bit of a big combat. And then in the middle, my the Longbeards went into his Corsair unit and took out his They lost a few and then took out his hag or whatever, the level 4 sorceress.
Yeah.
But then his general and the dragon ended up getting into the flank as well. We got to the end of the game basically. He took out all my Longbeards by the end of it. I ran with my, I think it was, who was it actually? It was definitely my Thane, and I think I had maybe one Longbeard in there, or it might have been my Rune Lord. And basically, at the end of the game, they got away, funnily enough, but then they rallied. So that was sort of all that was left. It was. I still got quite a few things of his, but just not enough.
Yeah.
And I went down 5-15 to Kieran. But it was a really fun game. He was a really good opponent. It's just, man, that dragon was something else. Like it's strength 7 and just.
Must be sort of similar to the Chaos Lord one, but obviously not a Chaos Lord on it. But
No, it was big. Yeah, it was very hard. I think it took maybe 2 wounds off it or something by the end of it.
Yeah.
How'd you go in your?
Yeah, so I played. I think his name's Rick. He's, I'd say, one of the ones who hasn't played 8.
Bit new,
that much. So my second day was all dwarfs. Kind of funny. Actually, you and me were, because I was on 29 and you're on 27 or something to start the day, and I was like, last night, I'm like, I bet you we're going to get matched up, and we were, but Ben was like, no, you guys aren't playing. That's stupid. Not driving down and then playing each other. So they switched some stuff around. So I was playing another dwarf army though.
Yeah.
So he has because he's it's not it's not a souped up tournament at this by any means. It was sort of like 2 big warrior blocks, Longbeard block, and 1 cannon, some thunderers, big unit of slayers with a giant, just 1 giant, like upgrade to a giant slayer.
Yes.
And it was that reserve one. So I rolled 5 1s in a row. So it wasn't too bad, but it was my Necrosphinx, like
still,
proper chaff units, and my Tomb Guard unit with the Herald as well were off the thing. The issue there is just as I started to drop some other chaff, because it's diagonal and it was 6 inches from the middle, he put his Thunderers right on the line, right up on one flank, and I went, okay, well, that's a good target for my dragon to just be 12 inches away and just go in. And then I take him out. Worst case, I fail and go over and off the board, or I can turn around, redirect back, and then turn 2 go into one of his, because I think it was a warrior block next to it. His cannon was there too, but I didn't really care about it. So I put my Scorpion and Dragon right on that side. Yeah. And then it's mostly just chaff then, because my Necrosphinx and my Tomb Guard unit are off the table. Yeah. The problem being, because I decided to really attack, I'm right up on that 6-inch line thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my tomb guards, they're not going to get in the game because they only move 4 inches.
Yeah.
What am I going to do? They're never even going to be close to. And I didn't think they'd be used, but I thought at some point I want them in the middle just in case his slayers get over there because his slayers were over to my right.
Yeah.
So I actually deployed the Hierophant by himself about, I think it would have been about 11 inches from the back of the board.
Yeah.
So I knew his magic was going to be worthless for my attack, but I thought I'm going to just try bubble this reserve move spell because at least then I can start marching back to get these guys back into the battle.
Yeah.
So yeah, the magic there, and my caskets I'd moved right up. So, I had the -2 bubble going a lot in that area of where my dragon. So my dragon, yeah, he went into those thunderers. But the other thing that Rick had done, which again is actually good for what happened there, like he put like standards and champs in everything.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Well, pretty much full command and everything, which generally
Yeah.
you don't do much. But as a result, I was like, yeah, well, you can challenge my dragon. Like, so like that thunder unit didn't. It just fell back. Like I didn't actually wipe it out because I could only kill the champ, which sucked a bit. I did charge my scorpion in to try and do more damage too, but it just it's only got 3 attacks, 4 attacks and 3 stomps max, and it still didn't do. With whiffing a few things, it didn't.
Yeah.
Didn't do a lot. So actually, it was up to turn 3 before. By then, he was able to turn one of his units round. So then, when my dragon went in. And his king was in that unit as well, which he didn't really have like souped up runes that I was too worried about. So we just went to town for like 2 turns. I killed his, he challenged me with his general, and it took 2 turns and I killed because his general's just 3 wounds. He had no other stuff,
Yeah.
But yeah, I was going. That took a little bit, but then because that took a little bit. He had 1 unit of Dwarf Warriors off the table as well. Oh, sorry, that was Dwarf Warriors maybe, and then, I'm trying to remember. It was either Longbeards or Dwarf Warriors, and then one of the other ones came on and was in turn 4 was able to then charge into my dragon as well. So just for combat res and stuff. And then my Necrosphinx eventually got in there as well. So basically it was like Necrosphinx in the flank of... because what happened, my Necrosphinx did get in and attack 1 unit and killed it and overran into the rear of the unit that was in my dragon, and then my dragon had this other block in his flank. Yeah. So it was shit in the middle. But because a lot of times I was getting the -2 to hit, he just wasn't able to do anything. It just took, it was just a matter of time of just getting through it, bang, bang, grind them down, kill them. In the end, I don't think I got all of the Longbeards. I killed all the Dwarf Warrior blocks.
Yeah.
His Slayer unit was still getting over, but I was chaffing it up and then just shooting it with like bows and fireballs.
Oh, yeah.
It was left with just the Giant Slayer left. I was like, and I thought, it's just Giant Slayer. Cool, I got points for the Troll Slayers. And I was like, oh no, he's still a unit upgrade.
Still in the unit.
I was like, you're kidding. But yeah, it was fine. I won 15-5. But again, it's just so frustrating me to these like one. I was trying to find anything. I was like shooting I dropped my Light of Protection off to do Light of Death on those Troll Slayers. Anything just to try and take that one guy off, and I still couldn't. I was like, oh well, shit happens. And like poor Rick, he hadn't run into that dragon before. He's like, are you kidding? You just can't do anything to it. I was like, yeah, no. Especially when you don't have like, when you're just hitting it with hand weapons.
No,
you
can't.
Just,
you can't dent it.
And it just took. We only got to end of 5, but so maybe turn 6 I would have got the Longbeards, but that's it. It's fine. I was like, that's fine. 15-5. I'll take that. So
yeah. Nice. So my turn 2. Funnily enough, I was against Rick.
Yeah.
Dwarfs.
Dwarf
versus dwarf. I won't go through the list again because Gommo's obviously just gone through it. But yeah, he's basically.
And this was just open battle, the last one. It was just relaxing, just
game. Yeah, it was open battle. Well, it wasn't for poor Rick. Obviously, he hasn't, I don't think he's played it a lot at all. So he's just played a bit of 6. And it is quite a steep learning curve. What does what. And obviously, monsters are so much different in Old World compared to 6th. So anyway, he had his cannon on his right flank, on my left, right next to that, and basically he was running, what was it? Unit of his Thunderers, and then he had his 2 units of Warriors, and then, he had Thunderers and Ironbreakers, and then 2 units of Warriors.
Oh, that's right, he had that Ironbreaker.
Yeah, the
Ironbreaker
Ironbreaker
did
unit.
nothing all game for me, that's right.
Yeah.
Stuck in the middle, yeah.
And then on his far left, which was my right, he had his Longbeards with his general in it. So basically, what I did on my left, I put opposite his, not his Longbeards, his bloody Slayers. I had 1 unit of Iron Drakes, and then I had another unit of Iron Drakes a little bit further along, and then I had like a really strong centre, which was actually a little bit further away than all his Warriors and Ironbreakers. So in that, I had basically my Longbeards, and then next to that in the centre was my Ironbreakers. And then my Longbeards had my Thane in it, which I pretty much did the whole game, and my Ironbreakers had the King. And then on the very far right, I had my Rangers. And then obviously I had my Gyrocopters in there, but they just, pretty much ran behind by turn 2. It was just being annoying. Turn 1, he got turn 1, and I was quite surprised considering how many units he had. He just sat there. So I think he was thinking I was going to come to him and he was just going to shoot with his cannon at me. But, man.
He doesn't have much shooting. Just had
that's all he had. He had the cannon.
And the Thunderers.
And the Thunderers. And I was like, I wasn't going to go to him because I thought I was going to be able to outshoot him, definitely. So anyway, turn 1, bloody poor rig, misfired.
Which is what he did with me too.
Yeah. The big misfire, not blown up, but couldn't shoot this turn on the next. And then he didn't move really anything up because I think he was just kind of going to try and shoot with the cannon. Obviously, probably didn't realise how good the Iron Drakes were either, or anything like that. And the Gyros, obviously, he hasn't played many games. Obviously, I think that was just, he didn't know, so he just sat there sort of that turn. My turn, one of my Trollhammers managed to take out his cannon, so I got a little bit lucky there, and basically just started shooting, and then my Gyros went up behind him. So in his turn, he just started pressing towards me, but you can only move 6 inches at a time, so it takes quite a while. So basically, there was quite a lot of. I sat down. I kind of sat there and just shot him. Kind of felt a bit bad for a bit there. I was just like, oh, sorry, man. It's kind of what this army does. Like, it sits there and shoots, or it moves and shoots. Like, it's kind of like mobile. Yeah, bit of a mobile gun line.
Yeah.
So kind of
because you can move and shoot with your Iron Drakes, can't you?
Yeah.
And you've got the Gyros, so
really
you can
good
move and
skill.
shoot as well.
Yeah, 100%. But obviously, if somebody doesn't have any shooting and they're all, they're going to be in combat, clearly you're just going to whittle them down.
Yeah.
So he was moving up. By the time, this is like, same sort of thing. By the time his Slay unit got all the way through to my Iron Drakes, again, he only had his, left, his Giant Slayer. So he only had 1 guy left.
That's what happened to me. Get it either.
No, I did.
Oh, you did.
So he charged in with his Giant Slayer, but I still had, I think, all of my Iron Wardens at that point in time.
Just wiped him out.
So I was able to kill him. He got down with his Iron Breakers into one of my Iron Warden blocks as well, because it was pretty much just like a unit for unit, just like he came at me, and we're almost like facing off these units. So the Iron Breakers was able to get him down to maybe 7 or 8, something like that. But obviously I was stubborn, but he kept pushing me back, sort of thing. After I used that, he ended up getting them off the board. They turned around, but they were still alive. He had 1 warrior block that went into. It basically didn't really have that much anywhere to go, so he went into my other Iron Drake block that I had there shooting as well, and sort of killed him. So he had one warrior block that survived there as well, but then he had his other warrior block went into my longbeards. They basically got killed. They fled, and later on I chased them down, ran them down with my gyrocopters. And my gyrocopters were shooting at his thunderers, but he had 3 left, so I couldn't get through them. And his King's unit, the Longbeards, I was shooting my Rangers into them, and then I maybe took off, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8, and then he got into my iron, sorry, not my Iron Drakes, my bloody...
Iron Breakers?
Iron Breakers with my King in it. Had a couple of turns of combat, pushed him back a few times, and unfortunately, one of his break tests, he rolled a 666, and I ran him down. So yeah, at the end of the day, it was just like a bit of shooting. Took off, didn't do too bad my shooting really. But yeah, it went down. He went down. What was a 5, and to me it was 15. But yeah, it was really nice to play against.
Oh yeah, he's awesome. Yeah.
It's just hopefully he can get some experience up, and then.
And he said he usually played Chaos a lot in 6. I think just pushed it,
Yeah.
As his wife's dwarf farming or something.
Yeah, it makes it hard when you don't sort of, because there are a lot of things in.
And he did. It was 6. Like when you find this with the people who've come from 6, they don't have even a lot of the stuff that 8 had, which obviously there is in Old World, and so like the Iron Lord and Drakes and stuff, and gyrocopters,
the good toys.
Yeah. I mean, some have gyrocopters, but not to the level of what 8th people would have potentially had with the plastic ones and stuff. So
yeah. How'd you go in your last
So
game?
another dwarf. I'm glad I played you so much because I sort of know dwarves, which is good. But this guy, Goldie, his name is. He was the ring-in. He played one game yesterday because someone had to leave.
Good bloke. Yeah.
And then someone else had to leave today or something, or I'm not sure what happened. And his one was a great-looking army. He's done a good job on it. It was a mix of old stuff and new stuff, but he had like a unit of 3 gyrocopters and then a gyro bomber. So he still hadn't played a lot either, so he was still learning. You had to show him about the gyro bomber, how it moved different and all that sort of stuff. But and a unit of not a small unit of Slayers with a Dragon Slayer in it, but a pretty scary one because he had I don't know. I think I worked it out. It was hits on 4s, re-rolling 2s to wound against my dragon and stuff. And I was like, I'm not going in there.
So it wasn't a demon? It was a
Demon Slayer, sorry.
Oh, it was Demon Slayer.
Yeah. And then he had rangers that went into the forest in the middle of the table, scouted in. He had the Runesmith with some, I don't know what they were in. He might have, what were they? Warriors or Longbeards? Maybe they were Longbeards. He had, which is a cool item, he had the one, I don't know if it's a Master Rune or whatever, but basically they do Wizardry Dispels on 3 dice and discard the lowest.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Which I think is pretty good. It was almost, I don't know, it felt better than that Rune of Calm, to be honest, sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seemed like it was easy for him to dispel. And then he had a Hammer unit with a Lord on it, Shield Bearers with something that I didn't want to face. And then, so this is sort of left to right a little bit. And then, but then, most of the stuff on his left, my right was Iron Drakes at the back, which behind 2 Thunder units, so they couldn't actually really see anything except for large targets, so they couldn't just shoot from turn 1 almost. So I ended up basically, again, sort of deciding to go hard on the right. I see with the dragons and stuff, even though they were missile weapons shooting at me, I thought if I send the dragon and the Necrosphinx into those Thunderers, I can take them out. Moves, and they didn't have champs this time, so I can just try to wipe them out and overrun or not or redirect and then start going down his lines, make him sort of get blocked up a bit. I did over on that right flank, I was able to get in there, but it's funny, you run into these things and I still wasn't wiping. I mean, he might have, so he had 2, a unit of 8 or 6 Thunderers and another unit of 8, I can't remember, but they weren't massive. But the right size where I didn't commit both to one. I went one for one, and the dragon into the other. Necro in one, dragon in the other. The dragon, I think, ate his unit, but the Necro didn't. And on the stand and shoot, plus he shot, that first turn, he shot the Thunder, the torpedo guy at my necrosphinx, which probably
yeah.
is good because it wiped it down. He ended up with 1 wound left, which is probably the right play, but he didn't, in hindsight, wasn't, because he didn't even get my necrosphinx. Like, I had 1 wound left.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I sometimes wonder if that's because it's flammable. You might be able to get more off my dragon because it's still rolling 2s to wound and then D3 flammable. I don't know what's the right one to hit there, but it is what it is. But yeah, my necro did get in, and he still couldn't hurt the necro, and ended up like chewing through that and the iron breakers and ran off the board. And my dragon also overran off his board. So it's funny, like on my side, all they ended up doing was like taking out missile troops and running off the board, and not having enough time to get back on really. Because they came back on, but then I was like, I don't want to get in combat with that bloody Dragon Slayer unit. So rather than that, his gyros on his right, my left, had gone down and wiped out some of my chaff. And then, so I decided I went, like, I was getting the leadership debuff up on him, and I was firing the Light of Death, and he did fail 2 of them. So I wiped him down to 2 wounds left on 1, because a little unit of 3. But he was able, because they're skirmishes, he was able to get like a charge on my level 1 wizard and then overrun off the board as well. So like we were just like this cagey little taking out crap and then overrunning off the board. So he didn't get my necrosphinx, but I didn't also get this unit of 3 gyrocopters. And so when you add it up, and the rest of it really didn't matter. Like we were trying to shoot stuff, but I wasn't. Even his rangers, I got them with Light of Death and another magic missile. Yeah. I think they were a unit of 16 or something. I got them down to 3. I could not get those. 2 actually left. I could not. He took them out of the forest. I couldn't see him on the other side of the forest. I was like, you bastard. So it was a great game, but it was like just cagey, just taking off bits. And like, so I got like 260 points and he killed 320 or something. And so it was actually ended up being a 10-10. It was just, so it was fun. We only got through 5 turns, not 6. Yeah. Which is probably good for me, because I think turn 6 he probably should have been able to get my necrosphinx surely with 1 wound left. And I might have got the gyrocopters, but what's 3 gyrocopters worth?
Base, they're 60 each.
Yeah, so they're still not.
Well, 180.
60. So they're about the same as a little bit less than the necro. So they probably still would have stayed at a 10-10, to be honest. Yeah, so, but that was okay. 10-10 felt good. So for me, it was 1 win, 2 losses, which is a little like 1 with an asterisk, I think, and 1 with another asterisk because it was chaos. So I like that. I thought I did an okay job with that one. And then just the 1 draw. So it's actually ended up being, I felt better for first outing. Although Tomb Guard, nothing all game. Didn't do a thing good except die sometimes. And then I think last night we were having a chat. I was like, how would you change your list even just after 2 games? And Ice thought to himself, be so much better, especially after seeing Derek just wipe them out with those ball boys. I thought, you know what, he wouldn't wipe out. And I just added it up, 40 skeletons at the same price.
There's some scheming going on both sides.
But then I rocked up today and saw the other Tomb King army with 40 skeleton bowmen. I went, I'll just switch to that with poison. The amount of times you end up with just those ones where like 1 giant slayer left, 1 whatever. If those Tomb Guards in that game were archers with the poison dude in there, because they did have the poison dude in there, but it's only useful for melee when they're Tomb Guard, I probably could have taken a few of those little things out. Just
and if you get charged, I mean, if you got all those bow shots going in here.
Stand and shoot.
Stand and shoot. I mean, geez, you're going to be pretty good combat res that first, especially if they're going into you, then you win, and then they bloody, fall back, and then you just shoot them again.
So I think I'm going to switch, and I think I'll switch to archers. I've just got to work out how many I want to take, because I've got another 20 to rebase, and they're already painted, so I can have 40, no worries. But, it might get more. I don't know.
You never know. I wonder how was he running those 40? How wide
like 10 by 4, like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And he beat Ben's Chaos list. He didn't have 2 caskets, he had 1 casket. But outside of that, he had some Sharpty as well. So he didn't have as much chaff. He just had a Sharpty bowman and some Sharpty. Oh, yeah. So pretty good, though. Like, slightly different army. That looks on paper I would say not the strongest, but you don't see a lot of these sharpties in what they say is the good one, but I think it could be.
Yeah. Did he have that bone dragon?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know how he got rid of the dragon?
Don't
Did you just
know.
take some wings off and then got his dragon?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't even know if he did kill the dragon. I'm
Oh,
not
okay,
sure, but
yeah.
he beat Ben.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think that's what Ben said anyway.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah. So what would you change? Because we basically came middle of the pack, which we'll get into the podcast. But
Yeah, just the king being able to. I mean, doesn't help when you forget your own runes and.
well, that's true. Because that -1, that's so big. That's a
Yeah,
defensive item. It's
because
like
it
a
was
save.
two games. Sorry, I don't know if I mentioned it before against the dragon, the Dark Elf dragon. I forgot to use my -1 hit as well. So yeah, I'm not the smartest bloke in the world because that would have helped me a lot. So yeah, that was 2 games where I didn't use that, and that's -1 hit is pretty. That's his main defense really. He's got a 4-up save, armor save, but I mean, what's a 4-up armor save? It's not in those styles of combat. It's not doing a lot, is it?
Yeah, and his weapon skill's 7, so most people are only hitting you on 4s or 5s sometimes, and you're taking them to 5s and 6s if you remember it.
Yeah, if you remember it. So definitely, maybe give him a ward or give him something, and possibly he had 6 attacks. So I was reading up on some. It's true, but it's more against infantry. It does better with those attacks against infantry.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of the time, you are going to face these kick-ass characters, or so maybe I just do need something with like multi-wounds, or
And can you drop him back? Have you got some runes of what are they? Fury or something to get those extra attacks?
Yeah, so I got 2 runes of Fury.
Yeah.
But yeah, as Dave he only had 4 attacks.
And then
but
the
he was
D6.
D6 wounds. But I was immune to D6 wounds, and he still bloody killed me.
Yeah,
So.
well, yeah.
it just comes down to dice roll sometimes. But yeah, definitely the D6 wounds. Like that would have taken out that Doom Ball. Good chance with that dragon. Maybe not taking it out, but if I just got 1 wound through, I mean, you're doing D6, so definitely helps.
Yeah, but what, you're hitting him on 5, wounding him on 5s.
Yeah.
And then he's got to save and regen. What do you have? No wards.
Yeah, but he's got hatred against characters. So, I mean, like,
True.
you'd do 4 up with a reroll, you're going to get probably 3 or 4 hits, and then, you might get 2. I don't know. It's one of those things, isn't it? It's, yeah, you might get a wound through. You'd be lucky to get 2 wounds through. Extremely lucky, I think, with a 2-up, 5-up. But yeah.
Oh, that's right. He's 2-up save, is he? Oh,
Yeah.
2-up save on a dragon.
Yeah, I know. Because your great weapon's only taken off, 2 bloody. So it's only taken it to a 4-up, 5-up. So
yeah,
still pretty good save. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. I think all but convinced me just to take Tomb Kings and just change it, like that block of infantry and a few other little things, just so I can play quick at Castle.
Yeah.
Because I was toying with the idea after we played our demons the other day of going, maybe I'll just take something totally off the wall that people don't, because people don't see demons.
Nah.
But I don't know. I feel like I'll play the Tomb King one faster.
Yeah, I think it'd be the safe option, definitely. I don't know. I'll toy around with these dwarf lists, but I might go back to Vamps. Good old Vamps.
Yeah, but you've been playing that, so that you'd be able to play that.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But we'll see.
Yeah.
We will see.
And then, we're heading back and we'll do the podcast this week. That was good. We'll probably try and make it down there. I don't know, maybe sometime. But a bunch of them came up. We met a bunch of patrons, which is cool.
Oh, yeah. Great blokes.
What's his name? Keith. What's it called? Crikey Games or whatever, the YouTube channel. I didn't realise, crikey's not the right word. Oh, it might be. It's something like that. It's an older channel. It's been around for ages and he's got heaps of views. He's actually the guy that I stole the new green screen dice rolling.
Inspired by.
It was so weird. And then, hey,
you're the guy I stole that.
Yeah, I was like, are you kid? That's you. Oh, he didn't even realise. But I went, man, that's what I stole it off. You didn't know it. He's like, yeah. Well, he said he stole it off someone else. So I went, okay, fair enough.
Just
such a good
passing it forward.
Yeah, and Jim, one of our patrons, he said Because he saw our bat rep, he said, yeah, it's so much better seeing that, like being able to see that.
Yeah. Oh, Jim's a cracker, isn't he? So
So Jim's one of our patrons. It's sexy if you hear us talking on, because he goes into our live streams a few times, and also when we do the painting hangouts.
Yeah.
He has an awesome dwarf army, orc and goblin army. No, goblins.
Goblins.
Yeah, goblin army that he's painting up. So, that's good. And a bunch of them are going to be at Castle, so it's going to be good.
Yes, many beers.
Yeah, so it's good to see them and meet them, and I guess, I don't know, that's probably anything else to say while we're driving?
We can't give out all the goss.
Nah, not all the goss. We'll have a chat with Josh.
There's some other things that happened.
Yeah.
Which we'll get into, but you got to stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned to the podcast this week. This is just a bonus audio one for people who listen to that. But otherwise, keep subscribing, all that sort of stuff, and we'll see you next episode 47 or whatever it is.
Yes.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers. Jump.